cittern is a pretty much a European instrument that was created by humanists in Italy in an attempt to make a modern version of the Greek cithara. It's always had this kind of split personality, in that it's an aristocratic instrument on one hand. It was also the instrument that if you went to a barber shop, it would be hanging on the wall, so you could entertain yourself while you're waiting, while your haircut or your beard trimmed. And it existed more or less in this form until about the middle of the 17th century, when you started to see it getting a little bit bigger, a little bit deeper, the body bigger, because the music was changing too. I've got this one, which is kind of a French version of the instrument that was popular in the 18th century. And this was made by an Italian maker named Carlo Cecconi. And it's tuned to an open chord. And they play kind of galant music on it. Another very nice instrument. Yeah, I don't know. I was a strange kid. I used to read the Encyclopedia Britannica for fun. And one day I opened to the page and there was a picture of a Cittern, a Renaissance, the famous one by Stradivari with Lucretia on the head, and very ornate instrument. And I saw that, and something happened, and I just had to have one. I thought, this is my instrument. So I bought some wood and I built one, and strung it up, and it folded up. That was the end of that. But it actually stayed together enough for me to play a couple of tunes on it, and then it just kind of slowly imploded. It was a few years before I got another one. In the mid-90s, I moved to Italy. And that was a big change because there were no more traditional musicians around, and started all over again in a way. And I got back into early music and got more and more involved in the cittern, because before that I played the cittern, but the traditional musicians I played with didn't really like the sound of it that much. They preferred it when I played the banjo or the guitar. So going to Italy and basically being on my own, I kind of indulged myself more in the cittern, but my big focus these days is a 4-piece band called l'Ensemble de Doba de Saint-Fleur, and we're playing music from a book called 100 Contra Dances. It was published in 1757 by a guy named Robert Doba, and he was a Frenchman that moved to Belgium and published this book. And the music in it is really interesting because it's kind of like the missing link between kind of light classical music or chamber music and traditional music, because it's music for dancing. And so we do this kind of very rock-oriented take on this music of Doba, where there's a lot of interplay between all the instruments, and kind of like Planxty, a little bit like the Chieftains, but with a real kind of rock sensibility. And this is what we're doing now. And this is my main focus for the last 2 years, is getting that project off the ground. I play the guitar still, although not very much. and I play electric bass, mandolin, tenor banjo. I play a bit of jaw harp, which isn't as easy as it looks. and I've just started learning how to play the fiddle. I don't know why, it just kind of hit me one day. Yeah. A little bit of tin whistle, keyboards. But, you know, professionally, I don't do anything except play the Cittern and the electric bass.
The spoons.
No, I can't. I'm a terrible percussionist.